Welcome back to the Dinar Chronicle, the #1 channel where truth seekers, currency investors, and global revaluation watchers gather to discover breaking updates, insider developments, and factual revelations surrounding the revaluation of the Iraqi dinar and other global currencies. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you never miss the latest intel, especially in this time of fast-moving developments. Today we're diving into an extraordinary update that could be a major turning point in the RV journey. Something monumental is happening quietly, but it's sending major ripples across the dinar community. That's right, Chase Bank has reportedly begun accepting and exchanging Iraqi dinar notes. This is not speculation. This is not a rumor with no foundation. This is real, confirmed activity taking place quietly, under the radar, but with massive implications for investors and the entire global currency revaluation movement. For years, the question has persisted: when will Tier 1 banks like Chase begin to openly accept Iraqi dinar for exchange at real, recognized rates? While smaller currency exchange dealers and online platforms have dealt in dinar sales, the major banking institutions have kept their hands clean, refusing to engage until revaluation conditions were favorable or made official. That's what makes this new development so significant. For Chase, one of the largest and most influential banks in the United States and indeed the world, to begin quietly processing IQD notes for exchange is an undeniable signal. Something has shifted behind the scenes, and those in the know are already making their moves. Our intel suggests that this rollout began earlier this month, with select branches in major financial hubs discreetly initiating a testing phase for Iraqi dinar exchanges. Clients with prior relationships or those who inquired directly were told by certain branch managers that yes, they could bring in their Iraqi dinar notes, specifically the 25,000 and 10,000 denominations, and have them submitted for evaluation. While Chase has not made any public announcements, and this is far from a nationwide rollout, insiders report that the process has begun. Those who have participated say they were asked to sign non-disclosure agreements, further fueling the belief that this is a limited and confidential pilot phase. What's crucial to understand here is this: banks like Chase do not act independently on these matters. Everything they do, especially with respect to foreign currency exchange, is coordinated with central authorities, including the U.S. Treasury and Federal Reserve. That means this is not just Chase making a business decision, it is an orchestrated move aligned with a broader financial strategy. Could this be the early stages of a full-blown public revaluation rollout? The signs are pointing in that direction. Think about it. Would Chase risk its compliance standards and reputation by accepting a foreign currency that has no official value or exchange rate? Not likely. Their quiet participation suggests that the rate may already be live on back-end banking screens, accessible only to high-level institutions. Several Chase clients who exchanged IQD notes reported being told that the currency would be held for a verification period, typically 7 to 10 business days. During this time, the notes would be evaluated for authenticity and exchange eligibility. This mirrors the protocol used for Tier 4B exchanges in previous global currency resets, where currency is validated before rate application. What's even more interesting is that these clients weren't given the usual dismissive response of, "We don't deal in Iraqi dinar," which many of us have heard countless times over the years. Instead, they were guided through the intake process, sometimes behind closed doors, with branch managers making quiet calls to regional heads before proceeding. That alone is a powerful indicator that procedures are in place and being followed. We must also take into account the broader geopolitical and economic landscape. Iraq has made considerable strides in recent months to stabilize its economy, strengthen its international ties, and reduce dependency on the US dollar. The Central Bank of Iraq has been actively working to de-dollarize their financial system, which is a major precondition for any serious revaluation effort. Furthermore, Iraq has boosted its gold reserves, expanded oil exports, and settled major international debts. These are not small moves. They're foundational steps in restoring economic sovereignty and positioning the dinar for re-entry into the global forex market. Multiple sources within the global financial system have confirmed that private exchanges are now taking place, not just with Chase, but with other Tier 1 institutions preparing for public exchange announcements. These private exchanges are typically for government contractors, military retirees, and individuals connected to structured payout groups. What makes the Chase development so different is that it brings this process a step closer to the average retail investor. It's no longer locked behind elite walls. That said, it is vital to approach this moment with preparedness and wisdom. We don't know how long this quiet exchange window will remain open or whether it will expand rapidly or stay limited for weeks. Let's talk about the rates. While there has been no official disclosure, several sources have claimed that the live rate showing on back-end banking screens fluctuates between $3.78 and $4.12 per IQD. Again, this rate is not visible to the public nor accessible through online platforms or retail forex services. But for institutional clients participating in these early exchanges, this is the ballpark range being applied. If true, that would represent a life-changing increase for those holding millions of Iraqi dinar. Imagine exchanging 5 million IQD at $4 or dollars, that's $20 million before taxes and fees. This is why it's so important to have a post-RV plan in place, including tax advisors, wealth managers, and secure banking relationships. One of the most compelling testimonies we've received came from a dinar holder in Texas who visited a Chase branch in Dallas last week. After initially being told that the branch didn't deal in IQD, he was later contacted by a private banking associate who asked him to come in for a confidential appointment. At this meeting, he was told that while Chase wasn't publicly advertising IQD exchanges, they were participating in a pilot program for currency redemption. His notes were accepted, documented, and he was issued a receipt indicating the quantity and estimated processing timeline, while no specific rate was disclosed. At the time, he was assured that he would be contacted with a final offer once the verification process was complete. That level of coordination and discretion speaks volumes. This kind of information, while still anecdotal in nature, aligns with broader intel coming from inside banking institutions. Several former employees of Wells Fargo, Chase, and even Bank of America have stated that internal memos about IQD revaluation readiness have been circulating for months. Staff have been trained on how to handle foreign currency customers, security measures have been updated, and currency redemption rooms, yes, actual private rooms, have been quietly refurbished in several bank branches. All of this leads us to one logical conclusion. The infrastructure is now in place. The revaluation is no longer a question of if, it's a question of when, and it appears the answer may be now. We also have to consider how Chase's quiet move fits into the broader global currency reset framework. The GCR has long been tied to restoring value to previously suppressed or sanctioned currencies, often backed by commodities like oil, gold, and other natural resources. Iraq, as an oil-rich nation with a history of wealth and geopolitical importance, sits right at the heart of this transformation. The IMF, World Bank, and BIS have all shown renewed interest in Iraq's financial systems, suggesting that international support is being rallied for a smooth reintegration of the dinar. It makes perfect sense that Chase, with its deep connections to global finance, would be one of the first to implement these changes quietly. Let's also acknowledge that this quiet approach benefits all parties involved. By avoiding a public stampede, the banks can manage the flow of currency, prevent speculative chaos, and allow security protocols to function smoothly. For those of us in the dinar community who have been patiently waiting for years, sometimes decades, this might be the most ideal scenario. A silent rollout protects value, minimizes risk, and rewards those who are ready with their paperwork, identification, and verified IQD notes. This is not the time to panic or jump in blindly. This is the time to be alert, prepared, and calm. If Chase is opening the door even slightly, then other banks will likely follow suit soon. In fact, we're already hearing whispers of Bank of America and Wells Fargo initiating similar quiet programs in select states. The pattern is emerging, and it's all too consistent to be coincidence. Currency traders are also reporting tighter IQD supply on the retail side, suggesting that major buy-ups are happening in preparation for a wider rollout. Don't be surprised if, in the coming weeks, we see official announcements or updated currency charts reflecting the new IQD rates. When that happens, this quiet pilot phase will be recognized as the early warning sign, the crack in the dam that signaled the flood was coming. Thank you for watching, and remember, the truth is unfolding. The value is rising and history is being made one dinar at a time.